Have you ever wondered what happens when the seductive mask of narcissists is finally stripped away? When sweet words and manipulative schemes can no longer conceal the darkness within? Today, we embark on a dark journey, exploring the tragic end that often awaits narcissists, a place where isolation, failure, and the gnawing emptiness tear at their core, dragging them down into the abyss of self-destruction. Join me as we lift the veil of mystery, confront the raw truth behind the facade of glamour, and uncover the tragedy of souls lost in the maze of narcissism. This topic resembles a thorny labyrinth, as the fate of narcissists is rarely peaceful. They sow pain and inflict wounds on others, sometimes just one, but often countless. And we yearn for justice, for a confirmation that such wrongful behaviors will eventually meet their reckoning. This article serves as a sober note, offering solace to those whose souls have been scarred by relationships with narcissists. While it is not the final destination, knowing that justice exists somewhere brings a sense of relief and tranquility. Together we will lift the veil and explore the thorny path of a typical narcissist. However, remember that narcissism comes in many forms. Some narcissists possess extraordinary talents, reaching the pinnacle of fame and success. Others, with sharp intellects, are acutely aware of their disorder and strive to control its negative effects. But don't rush to glorify the narcissist you've encountered. The truth is, most of them are not as exceptionally gifted as you might think. In reality, they often face mental and physical decline. Exceptions, where narcissists do not experience disorder or deterioration, are exceedingly rare. Even the smartest of narcissists cannot escape tragic ends. The journey of a narcissist, no matter who they are, ultimately leads to sorrowful dead ends. Number 1. Losing their supply. Losing their supply is one of the greatest challenges for a narcissist, as their entire psychological structure depends on receiving attention, admiration, or control from others. When those they once manipulated or abused uncover their true nature and leave the relationship, the narcissist's energy circle begins to shrink. This lack not only weakens their sense of power, which they constantly seek, but also exposes deep insecurities that they have worked tirelessly to mask with a perfect facade. A narcissist may react with intense rage as a way to reassert control, or fall into a state of vulnerability and depression when they realize they can no longer maintain the supply needed to sustain their distorted ego. In such moments, they are forced to confront the truth. They are not the center of everything, and their power is far from invincible. This creates a spiral of negative emotions, where they simultaneously try to fill the void while being consumed by loneliness and helplessness. Losing their supply is not just an emotional collapse, but can also mark the beginning of their overall decline in both personal and social life. Number 2. Aging and physical decline. The narcissist's obsession with appearance and admiration from others is a double-edged sword, trapping them in an endless battle. They sacrifice almost all personal value to cultivate a glamorous but fragile facade. This dependence on external validation turns them into slaves to superficiality, pushing them into a cycle of insecurity and fear as their perfect mask threatens to crumble. For narcissists, appearance is not just an asset but a tool for manipulation, control, and attracting supply, be it attention, admiration, or even envy from others. As age leaves its mark with wrinkles, gray hair, and diminished energy, they are forced to confront an unavoidable truth. Their once potent charm is fading. This change can trigger a profound inner crisis. They begin to feel the loss of power they once derived from their appearance and ability to command attention. No longer the center of admiration, they may spiral into confusion, anxiety, and even despair. They perceive the decline in their looks as a direct blow to their ego, as they have closely tied their self-worth to beauty and allure. For narcissists, this is not merely a loss of appearance, but the disintegration of a significant part of their identity. When they realize they can no longer easily attract admiration, They often fight against time in various ways. Some resort to cosmetic surgery, lavish clothing, or methods to maintain a youthful image. These actions are not only attempts to salvage their appearance, but also desperate efforts to steady their crumbling sense of self. However, these efforts rarely bring lasting satisfaction, as the real problem lies not in their looks, but in the deep-seated fear that they hold no value in others' eyes without their external appeal. Time also brings another harsh reality for narcissists. As their physical allure fades, relationships built on admiration or emotional manipulation gradually dissolve. Those who once stayed for their beauty or charm begin to drift away, leaving them feeling isolated and lost. This often plunges them into anxiety, depression, and feelings of helplessness. Deprived of others' attention, they are forced to confront their greatest fear, being ordinary and insignificant. Number 3. Economic ruin. Simply put, narcissists often harbor a grandiose delusion that they are entitled to privileges. They act without careful consideration, indifferent to reality, finances, or risks. They impulsively dive into ventures, start businesses, or invest in outlandish ideas without regard for stability or safety. They believe they can accomplish anything and always succeed, that they deserve an easy path to wealth without much effort. The result? Their projects and ideas fail repeatedly, often culminating in financial ruin. They drag others into their cycle, fueled by their insatiable drive to rebuild their lives after each failure. For many narcissists, this becomes an endless loop. Therefore, it's no surprise to encounter a narcissist who constantly boasts about their glorious past, even if they are currently destitute. They always believe they are destined for greatness, even when faced with nothing. Of course, some genuinely resilient individuals believe in themselves and their abilities despite hardships, but narcissists often end up in such predicaments due to their lack of risk assessment and their grandiose illusions. Number 4. They are filled with hatred. Instead of facing pain, learning from mistakes, or finding ways to resolve issues, narcissists choose hatred as an escape. Each time they are challenged or someone dares to point out their flaws, instead of introspection, they shift blame to others, perceiving it as a personal attack and turning the other person into a target for revenge. A narcissist's black and white thinking causes them to view the world through a lens of suspicion and hostility. In their eyes, no one is truly trustworthy, and anyone can become a threat to their fragile ego. They believe that everyone around them seeks to harm or undermine them, keeping them perpetually on the defensive or offensive. To protect their false self, they are willing to fight relentlessly, using tools like words, actions, or manipulative tactics to bring others down. They will distort the truth, manipulate emotions, or use biting words to destroy anyone they perceive as a threat. However, the true source of this hateful behavior does not stem from strength or confidence, but from a deep-seated shame they can never admit. Beneath their strong exterior lies a wounded soul filled with fear and insecurity. They harbor hatred not only for others, but also for themselves because they cannot accept the reality of their imperfections. Instead of embracing and loving themselves, they deny these negative feelings and project them onto others. Their attacks, control, and manipulation are not born out of love or a desire to help, but from selfishness and fear of being exposed. In reality, the hatred within narcissists harms not only those around them, but also themselves. Their constant animosity isolates them, gradually stripping away meaningful and genuine relationships. They become prisoners of the false self they have created, trapped in a cycle of hatred and suspicion. Despite their outward strength, they live in constant fear that one day their mask will fall, leaving them with nothing to hold on to. The hatred of a narcissist is not just a defensive strategy, but a burden they must bear. It brings no happiness, only emptiness and loneliness. Until they dare to face their deep-seated pain, they will remain trapped in this cycle, never truly understanding love or peace. Number 5. Rare moments of self-reflection. Amid the storms they cause for their victims, Narcissists may occasionally glimpse the damage they have inflicted, not just the suffering, but also the irreparable losses. In these moments, they may feel the emptiness and loneliness gnawing at their soul, a feeling their perfect mask can no longer conceal. They might ask themselves, was everything I've done really worth it? Or, why, even though it seems like I have everything, do I feel like I have nothing? But these questions, faint sparks of self-awareness, often flicker out like shooting stars, gone before they ignite any true change. Their inflated ego, reinforced by strong defense mechanisms, quickly pulls them back into familiar darkness. There, they feel safer denying responsibility and blaming circumstances or others. They convince themselves that the harm they caused wasn't their fault, that they were simply reacting to life's injustices. This self-destructive cycle not only squanders opportunities for change, but also pushes them further into toxic habits and behaviors, distancing them even more from genuine introspection. Number 6, they become victims of themselves. When everything collapses, losing a job, losing their supply, or the end of a relationship, narcissists can spiral into severe crises. For them, the mask they painstakingly built is not just a tool for manipulating others, but the only foundation that gives them a sense of worth. This mask hides deep insecurities and wounds they refuse to confront. When it is stripped away, they lose not only control over others, but also face the horrifying emptiness within. At that moment, they feel as though their entire world has crumbled, leaving them with nothing to cling to. In moments of extreme desperation, some narcissists may fall into severe depression, feeling completely isolated and devoid of purpose. Unable to face their pain or seek help, some may even resort to extreme actions like self-harm, seeing it as the only way to escape their crisis. Such situations reveal a painful truth. Despite their outward confidence and strength, narcissists are fragile individuals, shackled by unhealed inner wounds. The outcome for narcissists is rarely positive. They become trapped in the negative loops they create, unable to break free from the need to control, manipulate, and protect their distorted sense of self. Important relationships gradually disintegrate, and their success, if achieved, is often unsustainable because they lack true collaboration skills and tend to sabotage themselves. They live in a constant state of tension, never feeling secure because their fragile ego always demands reinforcement, while life cannot continuously fulfill their endless needs. In the end, narcissism become victims of themselves. They not only harm others, but also destroy their own lives. Isolation, failure, and crises are not just consequences of their narcissistic behaviors, but also indicators of a life lacking understanding, love, and peace. It is a profound tragedy that they cannot find a way out because they fear facing their true selves.